Oh no, why won't it stop? Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing this morning? I'm in a great mood. Okay, oh my god, hold on. I'm echoing. Bye. Okay, I think that should do it. Okay. Oh, wow, we have so many comments. Thank you so much, Mona Larson. Also, thank you so much, Cassie. Hello, everybody. How is everyone? Oh, good. Oh, good. Good job. Thank you, Nichelle. Okay, so this morning, I just kind of wanted to go through a little bit of the evidence that I have in the Kylie Cosmetics lawsuit. Now, there are two different lawsuits. Actually, technically speaking, there's three lawsuits. So what I'm going to try to do is like share my screen and just kind of like show y'all how I do this research. I have shared all of these findings before on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. But I do just, oh, Steve, that's an interesting theory. Y'all remind me to come back to this theory. Steve, you are always here. I love that about you. Okay. So I have talked about this before, but I realized in my comments section yesterday that some of y'all were like, wait, you never told us here on YouTube that you thought it was Kylie's money. Like, that's news to us. And I realized that is true. I never have talked about that on this platform. So, yeah, I just want to kind of talk about that today. Let me see. I want to like make sure I can like actually see y'all's comments while I'm going to different screens. And I think the only way to do that is to like have my stuff up on a different device. So let me just turn my own self down here. Okay. So yeah, I guess let's just like get started on like what the findings that I have made so far. And it's all based on publicly available information. Thank you, Ninja Kitty. I decided based on, oh, I think his name was Hunter, who said it yesterday. The pinata's name is going to be, oh, I have a little mermaid tattoo from my little niece this morning. Do y'all like it? Pinata Grigio. I like that one. Pinata Grigio. Wait, what was it? I don't remember now. I have to go check. So I guess I didn't decide on the name. Okay. So, yeah, Steve is a legend. Okay, so let's get right into it. I'm going to try and share my screen. And the first thing we're going to do, like I said, this is all publicly available information. None of this stuff is proprietary. I'm not trying to act like, oh, I found some exclusive tea. I did not. I'm just putting together stories across the internet to like let y'all know what's going on. So the first thing that I want to bring y'all's attention to is in 2018, I have my notes here. In 2018, August 31st, Kylie Jenner was named the youngest self-made billionaire by Forbes, right? Do y'all remember that? 2018, like Kylie was on the cover with her business suit and her low bun in the back talking about she's a billionaire now, right? So that was August 2018. So 3 years ago. Thank you so much, Andy. YouTube is hard work and BJ rocks. Support your favorite creators, people. Keep up the amazing work. I was already impressed, but after the Lou video, I was blown away. Stay strong and awesome. Andy, that is so nice. Thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot. Steve Vermont, it really does mean a lot. Yeah, everyone say hey to Andy. If y'all don't watch Popcorn Planet, that's a really great source for, updated information about Britney's case and a lot of other stuff. I know Andy covers the Johnny Depp case a lot, which is what y'all have been asking me to cover a lot of lately. So if you don't already follow him, I'm sure you already do if you're into that case because he talks about it all the time. So we're in 2018. Kylie is named a billionaire all of a sudden. And I just want to like go through a little bit of an outline. In November 2019, it's announced to the world that Kylie has sold 51% of her business, Kylie Cosmetics, to this company named Coty, C-O-T-Y. And we will get into that. I just want to quickly go over the outline right now. Then in 2020, right, 2 years after she was declared a billionaire by Forbes, in May 2020, Forbes kicks Kylie off of the billionaire list and she doesn't appear as a billionaire anymore. So that's kind of where I want to start with the articles today. Then after May, right, then there's July. In July 2020, Kylie Cosmetics actually gets sued by her former makeup manufacturer named SUED Beauty, which makes a lot of the makeup for collaborators. Like the Tati Westbrook palette, I think was manufactured by SUED Beauty. So that's who Kylie Cosmetics was with before she sold 51% of her company to Coty, right? And then in September, there's like a whole nother lawsuit that happens that we're going to get into. So let's just start now in like 2020. We're going to look at the article that Forbes basically said Kylie Cosmetics is a web of lies, right? Inside Kylie Jenner's web of lies. So I'm just going to share my screen with y'all right now. Yeah, it is pretty embarrassing, but like honestly, like she has hundreds of millions of dollars, which is like hundreds of millions more than I have. So I guess I can't like be like, oh yeah, you should be ashamed. But also it is kind of embarrassing if you're like trying to act like, okay, here we go. You know, basically like if you're trying to lie. Okay, can y'all see this? What I'm going to do is like move it away. Hold on. Sorry, I should probably just learn how to edit, to be honest. Like instead of doing all this live, but well, whatever. Okay. So okay. So this is the article from Forbes. This was published, I believe, in 2020. So we have Madeline Berg, who is no longer working at Forbes. And I just want to like kind of go through this article, and because it does a good job of setting up the landscape. So this is literally a Forbes article. You can go read it yourself. More than a decade into their fame, the Kardashian Jenners tend to induce eye rolls and sighs among jaded media consumers. But when it comes to their wealth, even critics of the reality TV's first family are intrigued. The Kardashian Jenner machine and the cash it generates has been the subject of articles, podcasts, and even books. But no one cares more about the topic than the family itself, which has spent years fighting Forbes for higher spots on our annual wealth and celebrity earnings lists. So this is a little bit of, I don't know what tea, one might say, Forbes is telling us that the Kardashians have spent years trying to get higher and higher spots on the Forbes wealth list, right? So when the youngest of the clan, Kylie Jenner, sold 51% of her Kylie Cosmetics to beauty giant Coty in a deal valued at $1.2 billion this January, so this was like in 2020, it was a watershed moment for the family. One of the greatest celebrity cash outs of all time. The transaction seemed to confirm what Kylie had been saying all along and what Forbes had declared in March 2019, that Kylie Jenner was indeed a billionaire, at least before coronavirus. Okay, so what I want to point out here is a couple words, right? So I'm going to probably be using the word valuation a little bit. And I know that sounds like a scary business word, but it's really literally not. All it means is, what was Kylie Cosmetics valued at? What were everybody in agreement that they were, how much is Kylie Cosmetics worth, right? Because she was selling her business. So in order to sell an asset, you have to know how much it costs, right? So if you're going to sell your car, you might go to Kelly or Edwards or whatever it is, Edmunds, whatever it is. You might go and look up, how much is my 2007 Honda Civic worth or whatever, right? And it'll tell you, and then that's how you know how much you sell it for. Well, when you have a business like Kylie Cosmetics, what is that business worth, right? There's all kinds of calculations that have to go into it. There are physical, tangible assets like, makeup palettes that are already, in existence, or lipsticks that already exist. Those are worth something, right? But there's also other things that get valued in a business sale. This is called an acquisition, right? Where a bigger business acquires, it means buys, right? A large part of another business. So there's all kinds of things that have to be valued, right? And a lot of times that has to depend on business projections, right? Okay, we sold, 100 million units in the last 3 years. We have increased production. Demand is still up. So we anticipate at least selling 100 million units in the next 3 years, right? Stuff like that, right? Okay, so let's get back to this. Oops, that's better, right? Okay. So let's keep reading this article. So here they're saying that Kylie Cosmetics was valued at $1.2 billion. And a lot of people say that means that she got $600 million, right? But we can actually see how much. Thank you so much, Anita. Oh, thank you. Hashtag free Britney. Although this video doesn't really have that much to do with Britney, but Lou Taylor will make an appearance. So if you're here for that, stand by. So her business was valued at $1.2 billion. So everyone's like 51% would be 600 million, or, they, whatever, but it could be a little less or a little more than 600 million. Now, what I will say, and what we could do, and, if there's still people here and y'all want to do that at the end of the stream, we can go to the SEC, which is the Securities and Exchange Commission website, because there are actually documents there about this sale. The issue is that Coty is a publicly traded company, so they have to put it out there what money they're spending and how much and stuff like that. So this stuff is going to get messy, y'all. Just buckle up. Okay. So here it's saying one of the greatest celebrity cash outs of all times. I mean, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. And what I do know from looking at the SEC's website is that Coty did pay cash for the 600 million transaction. They paid cash money. Okay. So basically Forbes is saying, look, she sold the company for 1.2 billion. So we went ahead and said, look, if she owns most of that company, she's a billionaire or whatever. So here's a quote here. So here's Kylie in 2018 on the Forbes spread here. When we visited Kylie Jenner in 2018, she claimed her cosmetics company was on track to sell more than $300 million in makeup that year. In reality, it only sold $125 million. So Peter Harf is the Coty chairman. So he's the one who probably had a lot to do with buying Kylie Cosmetics. He said, Kylie is a modern day icon with an incredible sense of the beauty consumer. He said that when he announced purchasing Kylie Cosmetics in November. But in the deal's fine print, a less flattering truth emerged. Filings released by publicly traded Coty over the past 6 months lay bare on one of the family's best kept secrets. Kylie's business is significantly smaller and less profitable than the family has spent years leading the cosmetics industry and media outlets to believe, including Forbes, right? So Forbes is saying this girl lied to us. Of course, white lies, omissions, and outright fabrications are to be expected from the family that perfected, then monetized the concept of famous for being famous. But similar to Donald Trump's decade-long obsession with his net worth, the unusual lengths to which the Jenners have been willing to go, including inviting Forbes into their mansion and CPA's offices, and even creating tax returns that were likely forged, reveals just how desperate some of the ultra-rich are to look even richer. OMG, y'all. Sorry, just reading some of y'all's comments. Hey, everyone. We've been saying, so said, we've been saying this for years in the beauty community. They're just a family of grifters. Hey, Monka. Okay, so basically Forbes is over here just laying out all the secrets. They said, like, there's some of these people that are just like super obsessed, and I'm wondering which CPA office they invited them into and if it was linked to Lou Taylor. So let's see. Stephanie Wisnick is an equity analyst covering consumer products at a big bank. She says, it's fair to say that everything the Kardashian-Jenner family does is oversized. To stay on brand, it needs to be bigger than it is. Based on this new information, plus the impact of COVID-19 on beauty stocks and consumer spending, Forbes now thinks Kylie Jenner, even after pocketing an estimated $340 million after taxes from the sale, is not a billionaire. Okay, so then they say, as with other Kardashian ventures, Kylie's business began as a way to cash in on a minor scandal. The youngest of the family, she spent more than a year denying tabloid speculation that she was using lip filler injections before eventually finally fessing up to it in May 2015. Far from being embarrassed about being caught in a lie, she and her shrewd mother, Kris, seized it as a marketing opportunity, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. if you're being dragged and bullied and made fun of for like changing your body, like make money out of it, I guess. I mean, whatever. I have problems with some of the stuff they do. Don't get me wrong, but that in particular, like, I don't know. I'm just trying to keep, level head, and be a little unbiased here. With $250,000 of her earnings from modeling, endorsements, and keeping up with the Kardashians' appearances, Kylie launched her first batch of 15,000 lip kits, consisting of a lip liner and a matching lipstick. In November 2015, thanks to clever Instagram marketing, the $29 kits were gone in less than a minute. Before I even refreshed the page, everything was sold out, she later told Forbes. Now there's a picture here of the girls of, let's see who is here. It looks like Kourtney, Kylie, Kendall, Kim, Kris, and Khloe. It says reality TV made the Kardashian-Jenner family wildly famous, but how they leveraged that fame through their business, ranging from mobile games to makeup, is how they amassed most of their fortunes. By the end of 2016, Kylie had dozens of new products and a reputation as a skyrocketing new entrant into the cosmetics industry. A few months after her sister, Kim Kardashian West, scored a Forbes cover in July 2016, Jenner publicists began a campaign to get a Forbes cover for Kylie. Revenues were up $400 million over the business's first 18 months, they said, with a personal take-home pay of $250 million for Kylie. Pressed for proof, they opened up their books. Okay, so Forbes asked the Kardashians and the Jenners for proof that Kylie's actually, worth that much. And they presented them with some type of proof. And that was them opening up their books. This opening up their books, like business books and records, are just like your balance sheets, your accounting, like stuff like that. During meetings at Kris Jenner's palatial Hidden Hills, California estate and the family accountant's office nearby. Now, who's this family accountant? Could it be Lou Taylor's office, TriStar? I don't know. Forbes was shown tax returns detailing $307 million in 2016 revenues and personal income of more than $110 million for Kylie that year. It would have been enough to put her at number 2 on the celebrity list, behind only Taylor Swift. The accountant was quick to point out, "Who is this accountant, Forbes? Please tell us." But the documents, despite looking authentic and bearing Kylie Jenner's signature, weren't exactly convincing, since the story they told of e-commerce brand Kylie Cosmetics growing from nothing to $300 million in sales in a single year was hard to believe. After speaking with a handful of analysts and industry experts who also found the Jenners' claims to be implausible, we settled on a more reasonable estimate of our 2017 Celebrity 100 list. $41 million in overall earnings for Kylie, good for the number 59 spot. Kris was so frustrated, the Jenners' PR flack shot back, "We've done so much." 2 months later, a story appeared in WWD, I think that's Women's Wear Daily, a trade publication known as the Bible of Fashion. We used to read that in fashion law. Using the exact numbers the Jenners first tried to give Forbes. There has been raging speculation about the size of her business, with guesstimates ranging from $50 million up to $300 million. The story reads, "Well, here's the bad news for more established beauty players. Jenners surpassed the higher figure with ease. Kylie Cosmetics actually has done $420 million in retail sales in just 18 months. Kris Jenner revealed. It was the first time the Jenners had publicly disclosed the size of the business, the story boasted, and they provided WWD, Women's Wear Daily, with documentation." So here's Forbes's shoot back to that. That sky-high revenue number, repeated everywhere from People to CNBC, took hold. By the summer of 2018, when Forbes set out to calculate Kylie's net worth for our list for the richest self-made women, the industry's opinion of Kylie's business had shifted. "These huge revenues were totally possible," said one analyst, adding that she had heard similar numbers herself. Another suggested revenues that were around 350. Okay. So the reason we're reading this, if y'all are getting bored, is that it's going to be very important to understand this foundation whenever we get to these lawsuits. So we're almost there. The Jenners offered Forbes their own number. 2017 revenues were up 7%, they said, to $330 million. No other influencer has ever gotten to the volume or had the rabid fans and consistency that Kylie has had for the last 2.5 years. An executive at e-commerce platform Spotify, which manages Kylie's online store, told Forbes at the time, "Based on her rapid success Kylie appeared on the cover of Forbes magazine in July 2018, ranking number 27 on our listing of the richest self-made women. At age 20, she was worth $900 million, we estimated, and would soon become the youngest self-made billionaire ever. Thank you for this article and the recognition, Kylie put on Instagram. Kim tweeted her congratulations twice. I am so proud, Kris Jenner wrote, finally pleased. So basically what happened was Kris Jenner tried so hard to get Kylie on the list of billionaires and youngest billionaires and stuff. And Forbes was like pretty skeptical about it. But then they finally were like, okay, fine, I guess. The next month, Kylie celebrated her 21st birthday at West Hollywood nightclub Delilah in a Barbie-themed blowout complete with a pink ball pit, performances by Travis Scott and Dave Chappelle, bartenders in black t-shirts with Kylie's Forbes cover printed on them, her face plastered next to the words, America's Women Billionaires. By early the next year, she officially crossed the 10-digit threshold. So there was doubts, but they were seemingly erased whether she was a billionaire or not. In November 2019, when $8.6 billion in revenue, So when Coty Cosmetics announced that it was going to buy 51% of Kylie Cosmetics, everybody was like, all right, I guess she is a billionaire, because if Coty's going to buy half of her business and it's worth over $1 billion, I guess she is a billionaire. The deal gave the struggling, keep that in mind because that's going to be important for the lawsuit, 116-year-old Coty a hip, social media savvy brand to help turn around its sagging balance sheet. Balance sheet is something in accounting that you would use to value a business. It gave Kylie a major chance at expansion, plus a boatload of cash. It's cash. She got hundreds of millions of dollars in cash. Like, you can do so much with cash. And apparently a clear proof of her billionaire status. In a call with stock analysts, Coty's chief financial officer heralded the deal as a compelling financial equation that would help make Coty. So Coty's getting something out of this. Look, a modern, growing, profitable beauty player. So Coty is trying to keep up in this social media realm, is what the Forbes is really trying to tell us right here. The analysts were immediately skeptical. Okay. It looked like Coty was paying way too much. Look, this is going to be some foreshadowing because we're about to get to a lawsuit. It looked like Coty was paying way too much for a celebrity brand that could prove just to be a fad. One analyst had said. Another one asked how Coty could be sure Kylie is going to remain committed to promoting the business in the years to come. So remember earlier, y'all, whenever I was talking about there being a lot of things that go into the valuation of a business, that's one of the things, right? The whole face of the brand is Kylie, right? So if Kylie just stops promoting the stuff on her Instagram, the value of the business would naturally probably just go down. Let's see. So then it says, then there were Kylie's financials. Revenues over a 12-month period preceding the deal, $177 million, according to the Coty presentation, was far lower than the published estimates at the time. There was another problem. Coty said that the sales were up 40% from 2018, meaning the business only generated about $125 million that year, nowhere near the $360 million that the Jenners had basically lied to Forbes, allegedly, and led Forbes to believe. Then there's Kylie's skincare line, which launched in May 2019. The $100 million in revenues in the first month and a half, that's what the Kylie reps told them. But the filings, right, the publicly available filings on the SEC's website that Coty had, those only show that she was on track to finish the year with only $25 million in sales. So they're really only looking like it's going to be $25 million in sales at 2019, but they had reported to Forbes that it was $100 million in revenues, right? I think everybody was surprised, said this banker who was on the call. The negative that came out of that announcement was that the business was a lot smaller than everybody that had expected. Okay, so they valued this business at $1.2 billion based on a lot of sales numbers that were actually inaccurate, right? So what Kylie and Kris were telling Forbes and Women's Wear Daily and all them for their press releases was not the actual numbers that they used in this business deal whenever they sold Kylie Cosmetics, 51% of it, to Coty, right? Okay. So much smaller. In fact, there's virtually no way the numbers the Jenners were peddling in earlier years could be true. Okay, this is Forbes magazine, the one publication that tells everybody how much everybody's worth. They're saying there is no way. There's no way the numbers that Chris and Kylie told us could possibly be true with their little fancy accountant. If Kylie Cosmetics sold $125 million worth of products in 2018, how could it have done $307 million in 2016 as the company's supposed tax returns state? How could they have sold $330 million in 2017 if they only sold $125 million in 2018? Oh, let me put my thing back on. Sorry. There y'all go. So this is where I'm reading from, right here on the top. If Kylie did 125 in 2018, how could she have done double that in 2016? Like, that's not how business, that would mean the business was going down. That would not mean it was growing. Do y'all understand? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm not explaining it correctly or whatever. I mean, clearly, I'm definitely explaining it correctly. Okay. So she's basically, this Jeffries, this banker said, the negative thing about that announcement of the sale is that the business was actually a lot smaller and a lot less profitable than everybody had thought based on what the Jenners, Kardashians have been telling the media. So much smaller that there was virtually no way the Jenners numbers could be true, right? One explanation: Kylie's business quietly fell by more than half in a single year. Okay, so one explanation is the business is not growing. It actually is failing. If so, Coty paid for a high growth brand that is actually a much smaller business than it was just a few years ago. So think about it. You're Coty and you're trying to buy a brand and it was worth $300 million 2 years ago, but now it's only worth $100 million a year. Like, this person, Madeline, is just kind of trying to say there's something fishy going on here. It's possible that, you know, the company is actually just decreasing. If that's the case, Coty paid for a business that they were basically taking a gamble that this business was going to grow. Coty would not answer any questions about Kylie Cosmetics for this story. Data from e-commerce firm Rakuten, I never heard of them, which tracks a select number of receipts, suggests that there was a 62% decline in Kylie's online sales between 2016 and 2018. So this is saying there is evidence to support the fact that the business is just failing. Like, it's just going down. It's not doing as good. It's not growing. Still, virtually every industry expert polled by Forbes thinks the business couldn't have collapsed by so much so quickly. So basically, the industry experts are saying there's no way that it was 300 million and then 125 million 2 years later. They say it seems unlikely that much revenue could have evaporated overnight. There doesn't seem to be any evidence the business has, cratered or bottomed out, adds cosmetics veteran Jeffrey Ten, who has led companies like Note Cosmetics, NYX, and Calvin Klein Beauty. If so, why would Coty buy it? That's my question. If their revenues are going down by half, by hundreds of millions each year, why would Coty Cosmetics buy this company? Keep that question in mind, because we're going to come back to it. More likely, here's Forbes' opinion, the business was never that big to begin with, and the Jenners have lied about it every year since 2016, including having their accountant, who is their accountant? I don't know, draft tax returns with fake numbers to help juice Forbes' estimates of Kylie's earnings and net worth. While we can't prove that those documents were fake, although it is likely, it is clear that Kylie's camp has been lying. Wow. There's also the issue of profit. Forbes had been estimating that Kylie's business, which has very little overhead cost, was notching 44% net margins, but Coty's filings indicate that Kylie's are lower than the 44%, which factors in some and all of her expenses, only around 25%. So basically this margin, the profit margin, just has to do with, like, if it costs you, how much it costs you to make a product versus how much you sell it for. So Forbes thought it was like a 44% difference between how much they sold it for and how much they made it for. But according to these Coty's filings, they only sell it for 25% more than it cost them to make it, which would mean they only are getting about half of the revenues that they would be lying and saying that they were getting, according to Forbes, right? For years, the Jenners insisted all these profits went directly to Kylie because she owned the business outright. But Coty's purchase agreement specifically lists a KMJ 2018 irrevocable trust. If y'all want me to go through these actual filings on the SEC, leave a comment below and I'll make a separate video going through them. I just don't want it to be too like dense because I don't want to bore you. So the KMJ irrevocable trust is actually controlled by Kris Jenner. She owns a profit interest in Kylie Cosmetics. So it's not even all the... So all this... Let me just move this for a second. So what we're talking about right now is the lead up to these lawsuits, right? And all this stuff happened in the background first. And I wanted to put that out there first. So all of this, what we're talking about at this exact moment, is Kylie Jenner's actual net worth, okay? Kylie Jenner owns Kylie Cosmetics, right? At the time before the sale, she owned 100% of it, was the thought, right? Like, was the allegation or whatever. But according to this article, they're saying Kris Jenner owns some of Kylie Cosmetics through this KMJ, the Kristen M. Jenner irrevocable trust. So upon the sale of 51% of Kylie Cosmetics to Coty, the document says the trust would get a capital or an ownership interest in the company. So KMJ, so Kris Jenner would have some ownership interest in Kylie Cosmetics or maybe in Coty. The Jenners initially told Forbes that the trust holds money for Kylie earned before she turned 18 and that Kylie is the beneficiary. But the trust appears to have been created well after Kylie turned 18, and the Jenners declined to offer any proof to back up their claims. Okay. Given the lack of clarity and the history of lies, we're erring on the side of caution and assuming that the trust belongs to Kris Jenner. Dang. This means Kylie Jenner owns an estimated 44% of Kylie Cosmetics rather than 49%. So Kris Jenner owns like 5-ish% of the trust of Kylie Cosmetics. You have to remember, they are in the entertainment business. Everything in entertainment has to be exaggerated to get attention. Okay, so we're almost done with this article. Sorry, it's been a little long. Taking all this new information into account and factoring in the pandemic, Forbes has recalculated Kylie's net worth and concluded she is not a billionaire. A more realistic accounting of her personal fortune puts it at just under $900 million, despite the headlines surrounding the Coty deal that seemed to confirm her billionaire status. More than a third of that is estimated $340 million in post-tax cash she would have pocketed from selling the majority. So they're saying like, okay, she's worth $900 million and 340 of it would have just been all from that one sale of Kylie to Coty. The rest is made up of revised earnings based on her business's smaller size and a more conservative estimate of its profitability, plus the value of her remaining share of the Kylie Cosmetics, which is not only smaller than the Jenners led us to believe, but is also worth less now than it was when the deal was announced in November, given the economic effects of coronavirus. Coty's share price has fallen more than 60% since the deal was struck, and even better performing competitors like Ulta Beauty and Estee Lauder are still down single digits. Add that to the fact that Wall Street tends to think Coty paid too much to begin with, and there's no way to realistically peg Kylie's net worth above $1 million. As usual, we asked the Jenners for input on our numbers, but pressed for answers on the many discrepancies. The typically chatty family did something out of character. They stopped answering our questions. Okay, and then on June 1st, following the publication of this story, representatives of Kylie and Kris Jenner sent a letter to Forbes denying that Kylie has lied or that the tax returns the Jenners sent us contain false numbers. This is their quote: "The accusations that the Jenners and or their accountants falsified tax returns and then lied about their 2016 revenues for the last 4 years are absolutely false." Okay, so all of that had to do with Kylie Jenner's actual net worth. But within there, buried in there, we get the accusation that maybe Kylie Cosmetics itself was not actually worth $1.2 billion. So there's a couple more articles that I was going to read, but I'm not, like about Kylie Jenner being booted from the Forbes list and stuff like that. So now what we're going to turn to is a shareholder dispute. And welcome to corporate law class, where we're going to talk a little bit about shareholder disputes and derivative disputes and stuff like that. So let me share my screen again, a different thing here, and we're going to get into that. All right. Coty being sued is the one I want. Okay. So bearing all of that in mind, what we just discussed and talked about. Oh my God. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Okay. So yes, you can see it. All right. So let's get on with this one. So all of this, I could have tried to explain this to y'all with my own words, but to be honest, this is a really, really great resource, thefashionlaw.com. I do not know this person. I just read this article here and I thought they did a good job explaining it. So if you read this title, Coty, right? Coty is the purchaser. Coty, let me see if I can draw a little diagram. So we have Coty Cosmetics. Okay. So we have Coty. Coty is the purchaser of Kylie Cosmetics. Coty owns now 51% of Kylie Cosmetics, and that was based on a $1.2 billion valuation. 51% of $1.2 billion is exactly $600 million, and that's how much cash allegedly Coty was paying Kylie for her 51% stake in her business. Okay. But look at this article. Coty from, last year, September, about a year ago, Coty is being sued for overpaying for Kylie Cosmetics. So not only is Wall Street, from that last article, the Forbes article, they're speculating that Kylie Cosmetics was never actually worth this much money. Now they're being sued because they overpaid. Now, who could possibly be suing them? Good question. This is what's called a shareholder dispute, where a publicly traded company is a company that is on the stock market. You can buy a share of the company as a member of the public, right? The members of the public that bought shares of this company are saying, wait a second, you did not spend our money right. You spent our money irresponsibly. You should have had a better valuation for this business before you paid for it. So that's basically the gist of what we're about to read here. So let's just get into what this, I believe that this is a lawyer, this person who writes this blog. So in the summer of 2018, Kylie Jenner landed on the cover of Forbes 2018 Self-Made Billionaire issue. And then there's a quote. At 21, Jenner becomes the youngest self-made billionaire ever, the magazine declared in a spread about the youngest member of the Kardashian-Jenner empire. Jenner's new title was tied in large part to Kylie Cosmetics. Her wildly popular collection of makeup and skincare products that Forbes estimated was worth at least $900 million, thereby enabling the reality star to reach a 10-figure fortune at a younger age than even Mark Zuckerberg, who was 23 when he hit that mark. And maybe that's why Kris Jenner was trying so hard to get Kylie on the list, because she wanted her to be the youngest billionaire, according to Forbes. That valuation of Kylie Cosmetics came into fruition not long after Jenner's striking Forbes cover. In November 2019, Coty acquired a 51% stake in Kylie's cosmetics collection in exchange for $600 million cash dollars, putting an eye-popping $1.2 billion price tag on the now 6-year-old company. According to a release from the New York headquartered cosmetics giant, the acquisition would see it build and further develop Kylie's existing beauty business, one that generated an estimated $177 million revenues for the trailing 12 months. Kylie is a modern day icon, Coty chairman. Okay, so we already read that part. In short, Coty is wagering. Okay, here you go. As parties embarked on what appeared to be the perfect marriage, particularly given Coty's endeavor to boost its digital footprint and incorporate millennial-focused brands in its lineup. In short, Coty is wagering that the celebrity brand can revive... I can't zoom in. Shoot, sorry. That the celebrity brand can revive a struggling beauty business based on CoverGirl and Max Factor. The Wall Street Journal's Charlene Tarlett put it. Now that seemingly impeccable union is coming under fire. As it turns out, Jenner's business may not have been worth what she and her high-powered team said it was. In May 2020, almost 2 years after Forbes crowned her the youngest ever self-made billionaire, the business magazine had another story to tell. And that's what we just read. Jenner and her team have been lying, basically. In an article entitled Inside Kylie Jenner's Web of Lies, we just now read that, all the accusations. More than that, Forbes writer said that Kylie's revenue numbers did not jive with those listed in public filings from the formerly privately held company's new publicly traded parent, Coty. Lawyers for Kylie shot down the Forbes piece, saying the article is filled with lies. Forbes' accusation that Kylie and her accountants, who's the accountant? Is it Lou Taylor? I don't know. Forged tax returns, and it's unequivocally false. We are demanding that Forbes immediately and publicly retract that and other statements. Okay, so then we have the aftermath. The article, which is still live on Forbes' website, sans any corrections or retractions, proved to be an internet sensation in much the same way that her original billionaire cover was. More than merely garnering sweeping social media traction, the revelations raised questions about whether Coty, right, the purchaser of it, got a fair deal when it acquired a majority stake just 6 months prior. But while Twitter chatter quickly died down with the fast-moving news cycle, it appears that concerns over Coty's acquisition of Kylie Cosmetics have not. So maybe the little chit-chat died down, but people are still concerned. In fact, Coty and a handful of its highly ranking officers and directors, who are the defendants in the lawsuit, are now being accused of running afoul of the U.S. federal securities laws in connection with the acquisition of Kylie Cosmetics collection. In a proposed class action lawsuit filed in a New York federal court on September 4th, Coty shareholder so there's a shareholder, one of these people that has bought a share in the company. Sorry, I'm reading somebody else's comments. Yes, Kylie Jenner is a Lou Taylor client, or she was, at least at this time. And Lou Taylor has this, used to have this company, this investment company called Stonebridge Investment Counsel. And she founded it. She worked as the executive vice president of the company. Well, in 2019, $600 or so million just appeared in that Stonebridge Investment Counsel company as an investment advisor. Now, at the time, I thought that was Britney Spears' money. But now y'all can see, as Low Child has brought up now, let me see if I can find it here. Sorry, I only see it here. So I'm on the bottom factory plumbing that jump out. Just reading something else. Yes. Okay. Here it is. Sorry. Okay. Low Child says, wait, so could the Stonebridge 600 million be that Coty sale? Isn't she a Lou Taylor client? I'm confused. Yes, Low Child. It could be Kylie's money. And this 600, like, if you think about it, like, $600 million, a lot of money. Not that many people have $600 million cash. And it's like, she happened to also still be a Lou Taylor client at the time. She happened to be, I don't know, like Lou Taylor also is alleged to be working on the Prince estate. And the Prince estate is also in a lot of trouble for being undervalued by a few dozen million or something like that. So it is, yes, good point, Angel. Could be. It's difficult to tell. This is exactly right. It is difficult to tell whether or not it is Britney or Kylie's money. But it is interesting that they have Lou tied to them and happened around the same time. A lot of assets and money moving. Exactly. I'm late to the live. Hello, Jadeite lady. Welcome. Claire is asking, is she not a Lou Taylor client anymore? I don't know. I don't have any reason to believe she's not, but I just don't know. H. Harris, exactly. Nothing was made by self. It took a money start, product sample, a contract factory, a recipe, and a good liar. Yup. Okay. So let's get back to this. So we have this shareholder. A shareholder is a person or an entity who owns a small portion of a business. And in this case, this is Crystal Garrett Evans. And this shareholder is arguing that Coty is engaged in a fraudulent, here are the allegations of the lawsuit, scheme and course of business operated to deceive purchasers of Coty shares by disseminating materially false, misleading statements and or concealing material adverse facts about Coty's business, operations, and prospects. Among the things that Coty misrepresented and or failed to disclose, Despite being no stranger to beauty brand acquisitions, Coty did not have adequate processes, this is the allegation, and procedures in place to assess and properly value the Procter & Gamble specialty beauty business and Kylie Cosmetics acquisitions. So basically the allegation here so far, just to stop and I know this is like legalese, so this is where I come in, right? What they're basically saying is, despite the fact that Coty Cosmetics is like 100-something whatever year old company, despite the fact that they buy beauty businesses all the time, for some reason with this specific Kylie Cosmetics acquisition, they did not have the proper procedures in place to value this business. Remember when we had that little valuation lesson earlier? There's like all types of things that go into valuing a business. What are the projections? What are the past sales? What is the person who is the face of the brand going to do, right? Like Kylie Cosmetics, like all of a sudden decides she doesn't want lip fillers anymore. She's going to stop doing them and her lips look crusty and cakey. The value of the business is very likely to go down. And there are professionals who are in charge, who, not me, I'm not one of those professionals, but there are professional like valuator, like accountants and CPAs who do this for their whole entire life, their whole living. They do this. So what we're talking about here is processes and procedures in place. So the lawsuit, these shareholders are suing Coty and they're saying, listen, hold on. They acquire businesses all the time, beauty brands, and they did not have despite that, they did not use those adequate processes and procedures to assess and properly value the business and Kylie Cosmetics acquisitions. And as a result, Coty overpaid for them. More than that, the shareholder claims that the defendants were either aware, so defendants is like Coty and a handful of other highly ranking officers. Now, we're not even to the Kylie lawsuit yet. Hold on, let me see if I can. Yeah, that's better. We're not even to the part where she's getting sued yet, right? This is just all the background stuff. So these guys and people at Coty were either aware, they either knew that they were doing this the wrong way, or they were so reckless in not knowing that Coty did not have adequate processes and procedures in place to assess and properly value acquisitions. As a result of its failure to properly value the acquisition, the shareholder alleges that Coty's financial statements and defendant statements were materially false and or misleading to the shareholders. And due to such wrongful acts and omissions, the resulting decline in the market value of the company's stock. Okay, so when you buy a stock, you might buy, let's say you bought a Apple share in 1994 for like, I don't know, however much it was, 75 cents. And today it's worth like however many $1,000s. You only had to buy one share back then and you just hold on to it and it grows and grows and grows and grows. Well, here, Coty, since they have purchased Kylie Cosmetics, the price that you can buy one of their shares for has gone down 60%. So let's say it used to be $100. Now it's only $40. And these shareholders are saying the reason that they basically lost money. Imagine you bought something for $100. Now it's worth $40. And the whole reason is because these idiots don't know how to value a business. That is the lawsuit. That's the whole lawsuit here. And Cliff, good point. Cliff says there seems like there should be regulations for business dealings of this size. And there are. There are regulations for business dealings of this size. And that is exactly how we ended up in the situation where there's a lawsuit. Because the shareholders are alleging that these regulations were violated. Funny how they're all crying now, since all her followers on social media say they don't want those lip kits anymore because they are junk. They wouldn't be crying if her followers were buying that crap. Yeah, true. I've got words. Comment this on the permanent comments on the video so I can look into it. Look into Raffles Van XL. I want to look into that. But I'm going to forget. We're material. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. So here's where that Forbes article comes in. Okay. So the shareholder points to Forbes' May 29th article, the one we just read, about how Jenner had allegedly been inflating the size and success of her business for years, overvaluing yet another acquisition. But not only did Coty allegedly overpay for its stake in the business in Jenner's company and make material misstatements or admissions. Not only did Coty allegedly overpay for its stake and Jenner's company and make material admissions, which created an unrealistically, oh, thank you, Sloan. So nice. Which created an unrealistically positive assessment of Coty, causing the price of the company's shares to go down, right? For example, she says that the Forbes revelation that Kylie Cosmetics had reportedly been boosting its numbers caused Coty's stock to fall 56 cents or over 13% from a close of 4 nights. Okay, we don't need to read all these numbers. I already explained that part. Under these circumstances and others, all purchasers of Coty's securities, means one of those stocks, you know what I mean? You can buy more than one if you want. All the purchases of those during the class period, which is from October to May, suffered similar injury through their purchase of Coty's stocks at artificially inflated prices. So basically what this lawsuit is alleging is that Coty knew that the Jenners were lying about the value of this business and they bought it anyway. And when they did that, oh, it's $1 billion company. Look at all this. It encouraged people like me and you to run out and buy stock because it's like, oh, this company just bought Kylie Cosmetics. Kylie Cosmetics is worth so many hundreds of millions, billions of dollars, 1.2 billion. Wait, oh, sorry, reading y'all's. Wait, what's LD? Love for beauty. Yeah, if anybody wants to get started on this timeline, and I can follow it up. Okay, so not Coty going down for not properly evaluating a company. Exactly. I'm so glad that literally 300 people are here and everybody is still somehow interested in this, like, very like, this is a lot more my speed. Like, this is what I went to law school for, like securities regulations and corporate transactions. Like, this is a lot more my stuff than what we've been going over on the Britney stuff. So I'm like honestly super excited that y'all care about this and like it because it's like really nerd stuff. Under these, I know Emily D. Baker calls her subscribers like law nerds or something. Okay, let's get back into this. Under the circumstances, so they're saying all of us have a class action suit against them because they basically tricked us into buying their shares because they lied about how much the company was worth and they knew they were lying. That's the allegations in this lawsuit. With that in mind, the shareholder accuses Coty, as well as all these French people, all of whom were allegedly aware of the company's dissemination of information to the investing public that they knew and or recklessly disregarded was materially false and misleading. And the shareholders accusing them of violating the Securities Exchange Act. So Cliff, if you're still here, this is that regulation, right? The Securities Exchange Act of 1934. Specifically, the shareholder discusses, accuses, I can't read. Specifically, the shareholder accuses them of being engaged in acts, practices, and a course of business which operated as a fraud and deceit upon the purchasers of Coty's securities. And that would be like us. Me and you could go buy one. I mean, if we got like Ameritrade. If we had like a trade account or whatever, we could have bought this. Like, it's just like general members of the public. Remember whenever like there's like all those Reddit people buying stocks in GameStop or whatever? It's like the same thing you could do. So basically, the company was misleading the purchasers of their stocks in an effort to maintain artificially high market prices for Coty's securities in violation of the Securities Exchange Act. As such, the shareholder is seeking a certification of her class action to enable other Coty shareholders to join her case, as well as a monetary award to reflect all damages sustained as a result of defendant's wrongdoing and an amount to be proven at the trial. Okay. So that was that lawsuit, okay? So another thing happened right around the time that all of this was going on. And wouldn't you know, So Coty acquired, let me go back to my little chart here. I got to get my blackboard working on my iPad so that y'all can see what I'm writing. In the meantime that all this was happening, not only did Coty acquire 51% of Kylie Cosmetics, it also acquired 20% of Kim Kardashian West Beauty, KKW Beauty, right? Around the same time. And wouldn't you know that Coty is being sued for the Kim Kardashian KKW Beauty one as well. So, I'm feeling exactly saying you committed a crime. Wait. This is the attorneys. Okay. Yes, Jade-Eyed Lady. And this is why the attorneys wanted me to take down my videos about the $600 million. It would show they were lying about the $1 billion according to reported to Forbes. Close. I'm not sure that we can go so far as to say it shows they were lying. What I can say is it's pretty telling, and it's pretty likely that the $600 million that is involved in at least one lawsuit, just wait, there's going to be another lawsuit coming up, and it shows where exactly Kylie put that money. Now, if that's true, they might be going to look where Kylie put the money. They might want to look into Lou Taylor. They might want to look into Mitch Martin. I don't know. But I can imagine that if I was all wrapped up in this, then I probably wouldn't want anybody talking about that Stonebridge stuff, right? So this is why, I mean, maybe it's not, oh, thank you, Jesse. Maybe it's not, you know, I get so distracted by y'all's comments, but I love reading them. Maybe it's not Britney's money. Maybe it's not Kylie's money. But I mean, at this point, I think we might be narrowing it down to who it could be for. Okay. So now let's stop sharing that screen. I want to get into the actual, lawsuit against Kylie Cosmetics. Okay. After filing suit against KKW. Okay. Yeah, I'm 31 years old and I've never bought any Kylie Cosmetics, but I'm kind of like a zillennial a little bit. Like I very much identify with the Gen Z like aesthetic and stuff. So I don't know, maybe I'm in the age range, but like it just kind of seems like the Kylie Cosmetics lipsticks are kind of crusty and I don't want to have crust on my lips. But that's just my opinion. Okay, so now we're going to get to the moment you've been waiting for, an hour into the stream. Sorry, y'all. It's really complicated to explain all this stuff, especially live. Okay, so let's go ahead and I want to share this lawsuit with y'all. And making it a little smaller. Okay, so we're also again on our good friend, thefashionlaw.com. And basically, this is going to tell you about that lawsuit. It's going to bring in the KKW Beauty lawsuit as well. Okay. So the title of this article was written also in July 2020. After filing suit against KKW, SUED Beauty is taking on Kylie Cosmetics, Coty, and the new trade secret lawsuit. Okay. So I have my little outline here. I don't know if it'll be helpful for y'all to see it, but I have down here two big issues. Number one is valuation, and number two is trade secrets, okay? So the valuation of the business was one part of the problem, and we all just discussed and learned about that. We don't really know if it was actually worth that much. The shareholders don't think it was. There wasn't a good process. Forbes came out and said it definitely wasn't worth that much. You know, people calling the Jenners a liar. I don't want crust on my lip. Extremely mad. I actually please nobody tell me that this brand is canceled or bad or anything, please, because I mostly wear Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. Unnatural inflation, but my brand. Exactly. H. Harris. Okay. Was it crusty, Melody? Melody said, I'm addicted to makeup, and I remember when they first came out, I bought more than the lip kits for review. Highlights weren't great either. Was it crusty? Charlotte is not canceled, just expensive. Okay, great. I only wear two colors, Pillow Talk and Very Victoria. And that's really, if you see lipstick, that's usually what I'm wearing, one of those. Okay, so now let's get into this other lawsuit. But I just wanted y'all to, oh, did someone... What is this from? Oh, Jesse, thank you. Okay, let's get into the second. Yes, Lucifer. You never saw Lucifer before? That's her name. Okay, so it is overpriced. It is overpriced. It is overpriced. If anybody gives a dupe for Very Victoria, let me know. All right, so let's get to this second part of the lawsuit. So like I said, the first issue was the valuation. Now we're about to talk about trade secrets, okay? And again, I could try and explain this, but I really think this person does a great job. So let's just read it and I'll explain through it like I did the last one. On the heels of alluding to impending litigation involving Kylie Cosmetics and the trade dress secret it filed against Kim Kardashian Beauty late last month, SUED Beauty has named Coty Inc. and Kylie Jenner's corporate entity, King Kylie, in a markedly similar lawsuit. In the newly initiated legal battle, beauty brand incubator SUED Beauty is seeking judicial intervention to put a stop to Coty's theft of its pioneering and proprietary digital-first business model that has revolutionized the cosmetics industry, which it is carrying out via its billion-dollar deals with members of reality television's most famous family. Now, something else that you need to know is Coty Cosmetics, when they did this, acquired 20% of Kim Kardashian Beauty. They valued Kim's business at $1 billion. So 20% of $1 billion is $200 million. 51% of $1.2 billion is $600 million. So, or actually it's like 600 million plus some, you know, like between 600 and 601 million. So when we were reading those two articles just now, one of the questions that came up was, why would Coty overpay? Why would Coty, as a buyer, why would they overpay? Why would they give more money for something than it is worth? And we are about to get a clue whenever we read this here article right here. Oh, that's a cute little scene. I think it's easier for y'all to see it this way though. Okay. So SUED Beauty, I don't know if y'all follow like beauty YouTube. I'm sure you do, Melody, but SUED Beauty is actually who Tati Westbrook worked with whenever she was doing her Tati Beauty palette. You remember when she did that last year or 2 years ago for Christmas? She had this palette that come out. Okay, so that's what we're talking about, that company, SUED Beauty. They're kind of like Morphe or whatever, right? Like you can just kind of put your name on stuff, but they do work with creators and they do work with influencers to formulate stuff, but they are like the manufacturer and the creator, and they do the shipping and the fulfillment and all of that, right? And this company, I believe, also owns or is related to the people who own ColourPop Cosmetics. And that's why a lot of times you would get that saying of like, oh, Kylie Cosmetics is just fancy ColourPop or overpriced ColourPop. And that's not exactly true because they could be different formulations, but I do think that there is a relationship, and we'll get into it in this article. There is a relationship between ColourPop and SUED Beauty and stuff. So let's see what's going on. According to the if y'all want me to read this complaint, this lawsuit, like we can do it, I guess, but I'm just kind of going over the reporting on the news on it right now. According to the heavily redacted complaint that it filed in a California state court on Tuesday, SUED Beauty alleges that as a result of Coty's inability to successfully compete in the new digital cosmetics world through its own innovation, they plan to steal the secret sauce behind SUED Beauty. Now, if you're here and you're not from the beauty world, you should know ColourPop Cosmetics has it figured out. They can create anything immediately. They have like a week-long turnaround on a makeup palette. Like they can literally make anything and they can do it immediately. And so that's kind of how you do it, right? I mean, the same way, like y'all come and watch my stuff because I can talk about Britney's case immediately. I can upload the document and I can go on YouTube and talk about it. I can go on the internet and talk about it. And it's like, that is fast fashion, fast info, fast everything. Everything has to be fast. And SUED Beauty has figured out a way to be fast. I have to give them that credit. Okay. And has actually gained unlawful access to so What SUED Beauty is alleging against Coty Cosmetics and also Kylie is that they wanted to buy Kylie Cosmetics or King Kylie LLC through that holding company or whatever. They wanted to do this not because they actually thought the companies themselves were worth $1 billion and $1.2 billion, but because they wanted the secrets to how exactly SUED Beauty, their competitor, was selling this makeup and making it so fast. They wanted the secret sauce. They wanted the secrets. And so the reason they bought KKW and Kylie Cosmetics was because they wanted SUED Beauty's secrets, not really because they gave two craps about what Kylie and Kim were doing, right? So we'll get into it. According to the heavily redacted complaint filed in California, SUED Beauty says Coty was not able to actually even compete in the new digital cosmetics world through its own innovation. And so instead of trying to figure out how to compete on their own, they went around the back door and basically tried to steal our secrets through buying Kylie and Kim KKW Beauty. It has actually gained unlawful access to SUED's proprietary strategies for developing and growing cosmetics brands by way of its recently hatched deals with the Kylie Cosmetics and KKW. So Coty first made headlines in connection with the buzzy Kardashian-Jenner brands in November 2019 when it acquired a 51% stake in Kylie Jenner's Kylie Cosmetics, which was developed in partnership with SUED in 2014 for a whopping $600 million. So they're saying SUED Beauty actually helped Kylie Cosmetics to get started. And now she's trying to run off and give our secrets away whenever those are our secrets. That's not her secrets to give away. So then they say, then late last month, the American multinational beauty company revealed that it would take a 20% ownership interest in Jenner's half-sister, Kim Kardashian Beauty's brand, whose products are similarly created and produced by SUED for $200 million. The issue at play in connection with both of these deals, according to the lawsuit, is the following. As the party tasked with formulating, making, packaging, and shipping all of Kylie's products, as well as those of KKW Beauty, SUED is the owner of an array of proprietary and confidential information that is essential to the working of its unique business model. However, while it maintains exclusive rights in such information, SUED Beauty claims that because both Kylie and KKW have had access to some of the most valuable and secret elements of its business, that information is at risk of misappropriation in light of deals with Coty. Okay, so I want to just point out, SUED Beauty is in charge of formulating, making, packaging, and shipping all of Kylie's products, or they were. So basically, SUED was like, she was just a face. What the hell on earth? We made the products, we formulated the products, we packaged the products, we shipped the products. All she did was show up with her lips. And now she wants to go bring our secrets to somebody else? I think not. And they said the same thing about Kim Kardashian. Why are they coming for Plankton's gig trying to get the secret formula? Exactly. Plankton would be impressed. Yes, Coty just wanted the secrets. And so it kind of helps to answer the question, wait a second. Why would Coty overpay? Why would Coty overpay for Kylie Cosmetics? Maybe they overpaid for Kylie Cosmetics because they wanted those trade secrets from SUED Beauty, right? We got a whole lawsuit over here saying that they didn't even value the business right. They tried to infiltrators. Oh man, they wanted the trade secrets. I am so excited that y'all think this is cool because I feel like I am boring. Okay. However, while it maintains, information at risk of misappropriation. So basically they're saying just like by virtue of them working with them, they could be giving away our trade secrets. And so what SUED Beauty is trying to do as of September 2020 or July 2020, was to make a court step in and say, pause. There's not going to be pause. We need to sort this out first because I don't even think that they should even be allowed to work with Kylie and them because they're going to tell all our secrets. So that's what they were asking. Who's Coty? Let's see. It's funny Coty tried this because Kylie and Kim's formulas are so bad across the board. Overpaid for the formulas and the clout because Coty brands are dying. CoverGirl, etc. Tell them you know. Tell them you know. I love this. I can listen all day. Thanks. Loving this. Oh, y'all are so cute. Okay. They wanted to get, yes. I think they wanted to get not only the ColourPop formula, but I think they also wanted to get the secret to how they do their online beauty business. Like, what's the e-commerce online, what's going on online? You know what I mean? Okay. Like, how do we have this digital presence with these influencers? Like, they wanted the Kardashian clout. Exactly. Okay. So proprietary confidential information. Let's get into that analysis. According to SUED's lawsuit, the specific protectable elements of its business, which are redacted in the publicly accessible version of the complaint, are not generally known. So basically they're saying we have these specific trade secrets that are secret, that are not known in the beauty world, in the beauty realm, and they could not be learned by others unless somebody stole it and told them, if at all, without considerable expenditure of time, effort, and expense. As such, this information amounts to trade secret information, a type of intellectual property that covers information used in business that gives a company an advantage over competitors who do not know or use it. Okay, so what is a trade secret? Here is your definition. It is a type of intellectual property that covers info used in business that gives a company an advantage over competitors who don't know or use that, right? So they spent money, research and development, time. Maybe they had an enlightenment or something that gave them this idea, and other people don't know it. Other people don't use it. So we have to keep it secret. Trade secret is like the Coke formula, right? The Krabby Patty formula, right? They keep it all locked up, hidden away so no one could possibly get it. So that's what SUED is saying. These trade secrets, which Kylie Cosmetics and KKW allegedly had access to as a result of their close ties to SUED Beauty, are essential to SUED Beauty's competitive position in the beauty and cosmetics industry. Oh, thank you, Noah. Oh, thanks for being you. The KFC formula. Exactly, the KFC formula. They keep it all hidden away. Trade secrets. That is why SUED says that it requires its exclusive beauty brand and cosmetic partners to sign off on and abide by the strict confidentiality and non-disclosure obligations. In light of Coty's recent deals with Kylie Cosmetics and KKW, SUED claims that this valuable information is at risk of misappropriation by Coty. So SUED Beauty is rightfully scared. In my opinion, they have every right to be afraid that Coty is going to be able to somehow access the Kardashians, SUED Beauty's secrets through the Kardashians or the Jenners, because the Jenners have been working with SUED Beauty since 2014. They probably know all kinds of secrets. You know what I mean? So I think they're rightfully afraid and rightfully nervous. And if y'all have noticed, there's been a lot of reformulations in the last couple of months, and that is because of Kylie Cosmetics. My new highlighter, my new lipstick, my new reformulated. Well, they're reformulating because now they're with a new manufacturer, producer, and all of that stuff. And I thought that was just for attention. These big companies are trying to play catch up to the social media business models. Exactly, J. Lady. All the big companies right now are trying to play catch up to the social media business models. They're finally realizing the value of influencers. And instead of like doing the work on their own, they're out here trying to steal, allegedly, according to this lawsuit. SUED asserts that the risk of misappropriation is particularly high due to Coty's alleged desire to copy its unique business model for its own benefit, and the company's willingness to cross the legal line. Look, where else have we seen people crossing legal lines? When it decided to rebuild itself by stealing every aspect of SUED's pioneering business model. Kylie Cosmetics' alleged refusal to confirm or deny whether it has disclosed the SUED Beauty trade secrets appears to serve as a part of the impetus for SUED's suit. Okay, so this is a fancy way of saying SUED Beauty reached out to Kylie Cosmetics and said, did you give them any of our trade secrets? And Kylie Cosmetics has refused to reply. Yeah, that's a good point, Steph. Do y'all realize if OJ ever, quote, did, quote, didn't do what he did, we wouldn't be talking about none of this Kardashian stuff? I agree. Oh, okay. Makeup tip. LH Cosmetics, a Swedish makeup artist. Love all her stuff. Not expensive. Very versatile. Try it out. Okay. I may do that. Yeah. So Heather says, surely they know nothing, but they definitely know someone who knows something they could put in touch with and all. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So where are we at? So Kylie Cosmetics refused to confirm or deny whether they gave any of the SUED secrets to Coty, and that seems to have prompted this lawsuit. More than that, though, we got something in bold here. That means it must be important. SUED asserts that Coty's recent acquisition of a stake in KKW, which resulted in KKW disclosing trade secret information to Coty without SUED's consent, has led it to believe that similar improper use and disclosure of information was made by Kylie. Okay. Let's break this down. Remember I told y'all about this? The 20% over here on chems, right? This is what they're saying right here. SUED is saying in this acquisition of Kim, right, KKW Beauty, resulted in KKW disclosing secrets to Coty without SUED's consent. And that has led SUED Beauty to believe that similar improper use and disclosure of information was made by Kylie Cosmetics to Coty. Okay. Recognizing the imminent threat of harm SUED was likely to sustain without injunctive relief, the California court granted SUED Beauty's request for a temporary restraining order in the case that the company filed against KKW. As a result, KKW and all of them acting in concert with KKW are legally prohibited from directly or indirectly disclosing, misappropriating, facilitating the disclosure of misappropriation of, or sharing any details related to the SUED KKW Beauty business relationship or the arrangement with Coty. So a California court did step in and stop KKW from being able to tell any secrets to Coty, but I don't know if that actually stopped her. I mean, I don't know. With its preliminary win in the KKW case in hand, SUED wants the same remedy in connection with King Kylie and Coty Cosmetics. Setting forth claims of misappropriation of trade secrets in violation of California Uniform Trade Secret Act, breach of contract against Kylie or King Kylie, which is the company, and intentional interference with contract against Coty, SUED is seeking a temporary restraining order and preliminary and permanent injunction enjoining Coty from, among other activity, reviewing, discussing, disclosing, or misappropriating its trade secret information. As we noted in connection with SUED's case against KKW Beauty, this case similarly represents an important look at how trade secret information becomes an issue in the context of acquisitions or in the context of a big business buying another business. While traditionally under-discussed, well, here we are discussing it, 297 people at 12 o'clock on a Tuesday. Traditionally under-discussed, trade secret misappropriation by acquisition has received an increased attention in recent years. Because like y'all said, okay, so really they don't even want to buy Kylie. They don't care about that. They really want the secrets. Like it's a way to it's Plankton trying to get the secret formula. Like Plankton basically saying, oh, okay, can I buy 50%, 51% of the Krabby Patty? Of the Krusty Krab. And then once I have that 51%, I'm going to march myself into that secret formula room. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to look at the secret formula. Then I'm going to go across the street to the Chum Bucket and I'm going to start selling those burgers over there at the Chum Bucket. But like the people who originally created that formula do not consent to that. And that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Okay. In light of headline making matters, such as the since settled lawsuit between Alphabet's Waymo and Uber, a case that centered on Uber's acquisition of self-driving startup Automoto. That's a cute name, Automoto. Oh, can y'all see I keep doing that. My bad. Here y'all go. It also becomes part of a larger movement that includes a growing amount of trade secret litigation. As global advisory firm Stout noted in a recent report, while companies have relied on trade secret causes of action to protect valuable business assets for decades, legal action has expanded over the years, and recent trends have set the foundation for a continuing surge in federal trade secret litigation. As a result, I think this is what Jadeite Lady said, as the digitization of intellectual property and ongoing competition across industries, as well as an increase in merger and acquisition discussions, in light of a larger trend toward consolidation, among other macro developments, companies are at elevated risk of trade secret theft. And no small number are responding to such threats and instances of misappropriation by increasingly going to court about it, like SUED Beauty is doing. And the case at hand, as well as the case that SUED filed against KKW Beauty, follows from an ongoing trade secret case involving L'Oreal, in which hair care startup Olaplex accused the personal care titan, that's L'Oreal. Y'all want me to go over that? If y'all want me to look into the L'Oreal Olaplex trade secret case, comment below. I don't want to bore people. I just want y'all to like stuff. I don't know, because I can read this stuff on my own without doing it on YouTube. But if y'all want me to go over it, I definitely can. In which hair care startup Olaplex accused L'Oreal of stealing an array of its trade secrets in connection with acquisition discussions between the two companies. In something of a similar case, fashion rental company Le Tote is suing Urban Outfitters for allegedly stealing its trade secret protected business model in order to create a rival company under the alleged guise of a potential acquisition. The case is here. Let's see if we can see it. Oh, y'all. The case is right here. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can show y'all. Look at that. Here's the case. Look, summary of the case. This action is to stop Coty's theft of SUED's pioneering proprietary digital-first business model that has revolutionized the cosmetics industry. SUED's unique business model enables it to rapidly develop, manufacture, and promote new cosmetics through e-commerce and social media platforms. SUED does this by maintaining total control of its manufacturing process, working on everything from product development to marketing, all under one roof. SUED is credited as the beauty brand incubator that is responsible for much of the defendant King, Kylie, and KKW Beauty's success. In fact, SUED beauty formulas, let me see. I'm going to try and put this in the chat and see if y'all can just click on it. I love Olaplex. So there y'all go. This is the link here. I'll put it in the chat. Anyway, okay. So that's that on that. This is all from 2020. I'll have to look and see if any of this stuff has been revolved. Oh, hold on. We got a little beauty tip. Brazilian bond builder is way better than watered down Olaplex. Thank you, you know. Okay, let's see. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit has tossed a $66 million Delaware federal court ruling for Olaplex Inc., which had accused L'Oreal of stealing its trade secrets and infringing. Here I thought beauty was boring, but damn, there's drama. Yeah, there's legal drama. There's all kind of drama. As of May 2021. Yeah, so if y'all want me to go over the L'Oreal Olaplex lawsuit, hair drama. Who said that? Heather. Ooh, hair drama, makeup drama, beauty drama. We love it. Because I honestly think going through cases with stuff that interests you or that whether it be SpongeBob references or beauty references or whatever, it helps you to understand how business works better. And I think that everyone is going to be a lot more empowered if y'all if we all learn better how business actually works and how these things go on behind the scenes, because some stuff's oh, that's a conspiracy or whatever, and it's no, actually that's a totally normal thing that happens in business all the time. Doubt if Kylie or Low Beauty will have to do a refund check. Coty will have to pay, which will kiss off their shareholders further. Exactly. Beauty is full of stuff layered in so many ways because it involves money, chemistry, stores, customers, yes, and increasingly online stuff. I want to see information on the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case. Y'all really want me to do that case? Fine. I'll ask Andy to send me some of the lots of cut ties in the beauty influencer world. I'll ask Andy to send me the case documents. All right. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here. I've been on here for literally an hour and a half, but thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for supporting the channel, doing a little bit of different stuff here and there just to shake it up. And all that said, I do think it's possible that the $600 million is Kylie's money. I didn't necessarily think that that was what it was whenever all this stuff was going on with my job. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Brittany's former business manager, Lou Taylor, did basically force me to have to quit my job. If, you know, there's a whole video on that if y'all want to watch it, a couple of videos back. But I do think now that it's probably more likely that it's Kylie's than Brittany, just because it was like $600 million, like mostly cash, like stuff like that. I didn't really know. So I think it could be. So now y'all have the full tea on why I think it could possibly be Kylie's money. And then there's all kinds of other stuff going on with like valuations. Lou Taylor is also conceivably also in trouble because she conceivably has undervalued Prince's estate, and they're in trouble with the IRS for that. Where does Jamie Lynn come into the picture with the $600 million though? Thank you, Jade Lady. You're so nice. I love you. Lou, you are a piece of poo. Exactly. So Cece is asking, where exactly does Jamie Lynn come into all this $600 million stuff? That's a great question. So a lot of people were speculating, including me. I was speculating at one point that maybe the $600 million was actually the assets of Britney's SJB trust. And Jamie Lynn Spears is the most recently known trustee of that trust. Again, I do think it's more likely than not that it's actually Kylie's money than Britney's money, but I really don't know, and anything could still be possible until we have facts to know the truth. It was a treat, lady. Thanks for going live. Aw, getting ready for your day, Jacqueline. Yeah, exactly, Angel. Jamie Lynn becomes involved when she was made trustee. So again, the confusing part, CC, is that it's not positive that the $600 million is Britney's. It's not positive that that was from the SJB trust. But we do know that Jamie Lynn Spears tried to put all of the assets of Britney Spears' SJB trust under the custodianship of Stonebridge, which is Lou Taylor's former investment firm. Unfortunately, I think her family spent her money. I think they probably did too. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here. Thank y'all so much for coming by, hanging out. I'll do more videos like this if y'all like it. Comment in this comment section too. Like if y'all want me to talk about any specific lawsuits, especially like easy ones that are already figured out, I can easily come on and just explain them. But, I will talk to y'all. I should do a video where I put on makeup and discuss legal drama. The issue with that is, Kelly, it takes me like 5 minutes to do my makeup. So it would be very short. Maybe I'll like have to like try to follow someone's tutorial or something. But I will talk to y'all later. Yeah, this is true too. Well, I don't know if the second part is true, but I've seen that alleged before, Gigi. That maybe that's why they wouldn't tell me how they knew the 600 million wasn't Britney's. Exactly. Anyway, okay. Thank everyone. Thank y'all. Talk to y'all later. Facts ain't defamation. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.